welcome to your Monday, June 22nd Power Hour meeting with Katelyn, Carly, and Claire. Happy summer solstice. It was the longest day of the year yesterday, and we celebrated Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
We sent 2 emails because one is an automated email that gets stuck every holiday because of the thousands of emails that also get sent out. So you had 2. You got one in the afternoon and one later in the evening. You could tell which one was manually handwritten versus auto. That's okay.
Technology.
Did you guys do anything for summer or for Father's Day for your clients or for business? Or I know some people did Rib Fest in Pickering. Fidus Mortgage was there. Shiv was there. I heard it was really windy. And
it was
cold.
on Friday. Well, we were there Friday.
Yeah.
And it was windy and cold. It was a cold weekend.
Cold weekend in general, especially for first week of June.
I got to hang out with my dad yesterday.
You did? Did it make you happy?
Good to be.
Got Claire outside of the office.
Yeah.
That's good. Did anyone run open houses or buyer showings instead of celebrating?
For listings.
I know you did because we had like 20 open house notices on the weekend. I got the email. Right? Okay. Yeah. So I know lots were happening. They're all over. I saw like Mississauga, Durham area, Toronto. Our agents were all over, I saw. So I don't have any feedback on how they were, though. I'm assuming they were amazing.
How are power appointments at all? Did you double check her?
We have a glitch lately.
Yeah, the system wasn't generating, so we sent them a request to find out what's going on. The numbers from Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Yeah, right? I've been noticing this past 3 days, they don't show us the number of appointments. I wonder if it's because of the new Supra transition from BrokerBay is now owned by Supra, just partnered with Honeywell. It's kind of confusing, but I wonder if that type of data, I don't know if you've noticed, but over time, our access to data has become less and less. Like you think about your quick office, we used to know exactly how many appointments you went on and how many your listings were getting. We used to get both. Then BrokerBay came and then we could only track how many showings we were getting on our listings, but we don't know what your confirmations were because it was all done through the system. So now we don't have access to either today. So I know offer activity was up, and I'm sure we could pull some reports. But.
Somebody just asked me this morning, they're trying to do something, book an appointment on the BrokerBay on their app itself, and then they couldn't access listings or something. So
was it for all listings or just one?
All listings, I believe. So
you make a good point. We recommend, I hear this a lot, especially from new agents, where they try to go to BrokerBay first and find the listing and book the showing. I recommend don't do that. Go through Realm, find the listing, and go to the online booking link.
Yeah.
That'll be linked to the actual listing. Because I find the search in BrokerBay, it's going to search a lot of listings. I don't think the search function is that good.
No, you have to click the button
go to the listing in Realm and then book your appointment through there. We were already familiar with this because we were pre-BrokerBay, so we were familiar with going to the listing first. But yeah, BrokerBay kind of changed it. So you can technically book the showing just with BrokerBay, but the search field is
already
not
on the
that
listing.
good.
Has anybody got involved or been involved with the Supra locks?
I haven't heard in our Uber.
I haven't even seen
areas
one
yet.
in real life.
Not as a listing agent, but as a buying agent. Nobody's come across it yet. They've tried to open it up.
Yeah, what city?
I see Ottawa.
Ottawa, yeah.
Ottawa. You were in Ottawa? Oh, man. They're trying to keep us Toronto people out. That's
he's not the only one. I know of other agents. It's not for a lease, no. I've heard London, Ontario has a lot of them. I'm hearing Whitby. Okay, that's the first time I've heard Durham. I'm hearing it's outside the Toronto areas.
Was it a rural Whitby or no? Huh.
Okay.
I know London's been doing it for years and years and years, but in Ottawa, is it the Supra or is it something else?
It's Supra. No, they got it over. London, they used to do it a lot. They're also getting just using manual lockbox.
Funny.
So they're not using Sentry or they're not using Supra?
Sentry is already gone.
Sentry. What are they using in Ottawa?
Just, no, they're converting to manual.
So that's very interesting, isn't it?
Like the combination one.
So now they're coming.
So
yeah.
So Toronto has always been manual, and London and Ottawa have always been electronic. So now Toronto's going electronic, and Ottawa and London are going manual.
That's weird.
Makes sense to me, right?
I was in Crab store and they were complaining that the setup doesn't work properly.
That's the problem with it, right?
Yeah, you mean you're relying on technology and like
I'm just picturing being a listing agent and the amount of buyers agents calling you to be like,
Can't
the
get in.
code's broken or
And
it's
your
not
client's
working.
mad because they couldn't get in to see the
Yeah.
house. And then
I'm just concerned about the box. It's gravity.
Like,
So
it's
you push the
heavy.
code in, and then the box drops down by gravity, right? So all
Yeah.
you need is a cold weather, and is that
That's
gravity
what I'm
going to drop
saying.
down?
Like, it's just too much
I
of a
don't know.
pain.
it's just too complicated. We already have complicated jobs as it is with everything. I think the lockbox.
Well, it's just the stressful part.
one
When you're
area.
finally in front of a live client and you're messing up on a lockbox.
lockbox. Like
Can't
But
get
if,
them
but
in.
if you ever get bored and you want to get entertained, I guess you just go to your Rico website and
I did
look
that on the
look
weekend.
under enforcement and look at activities, and you'll be surprised.
May was
every
busy.
seems like every second or third person gets fined for not showing up on time, or for giving the lockbox code to somebody else.
Yeah, so we know of an agent who, unfortunately had to deal with this. She went to a course. She said there was 18 people just like her who had accidentally canceled it after the showing time. So in our situation, it was 10 minutes after the time. Client decided we didn't want to go. So we're guilty. But she went to class. There's 18 people in the exact same situation. Which tells me there's something wrong with the rules. Like, I think we need to be a little flexible or have some sort of way to communicate, or I don't know. Doesn't make sense.
Nobody wants to talk to you.
Well, here's what I think sometimes happens, and maybe I'm wrong, but the listing broker says half hour for showings.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that was a
10
COVID thing. They should just extend that back to an hour.
So forget about half hour. How do you plan?
Unless you're only going to that one and you're going directly there,
Yeah.
and that's it. You can't do a whole route of 5.
No.
We're also not overlapping either.
Yeah.
So I can do half an hour, but then if we're overlapping,
Yeah. So they're all being diligent, being like no overlapping,
Yeah.
a half hour, and
Now, sometimes BrokerBay does automate 30 minutes. So you just have to click 60, or I think you can change your default settings to be 60, but just pay attention to how it's configured. Sometimes it's not on purpose. It's not strategy. It's just they set up a listing and didn't look at the requirements. But yeah, as a listing agent, you want to be as flexible as possible. You want to allow double bookings with communication, hour time slots. We're pretty flexible as listing agents. If somebody's late or what, I don't know.
As long as they
Just-
call.
You just communicate. Like, we want to get people in the door. And if they don't want to see it, they don't want to see
I
it.
have listing that I've only allowed 15.
Oh my gosh.
And I could not and I went to get the key, and the key was like a.
Was it a condo?
And then it was a condo.
Okay, that's
Which is even more
that's
scary because it
ridiculous.
takes half hour just to find the lockbox
Yeah.
and get up the elevator and sign in.
I
and
just sent a message that okay, you know what? I couldn't find the key, and
Not in time.
this is nothing. I'm sorry, I could not do.
Yeah. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do? Yeah, so we gotta be a little easygoing. So I don't know, but it's happening.
Waivers were half an hour earlier than the time they were.
So you
supposed
can't
to.
do that either.
Owner calls me, says they're half an hour early.
Yeah.
Never finished from cleaning yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Like
get-
someone's in the shower.
Get out of the house. The showing's there. Get
Yeah.
out.
You're like, yeah, I feel bad for you, but get out.
you want to do that showing or not? Get out. Being
Yeah.
early is a good thing.
Yeah, you can't be early though. We've talked about that too.
As a practice, try to show up early just to make sure I know where the lockbox is. And now I'm too paranoid.
Don't
I'm
walk
standing at
in
the
the
door,
house,
ready
yeah.
to go, and I'm like looking at my phone. I'm like, I'm just gonna text the agent. Like, I'm early. Is that okay? Like,
So I'm curious. In your case, here, you're the listing agent, right? And the seller phoned you up, said they're half hour early.
Yeah, I told
Did
them
the agent show up half hour early, or the
Yeah.
clients?
Yeah, that's what they did.
So this is what.
Sometimes I can see agents do like to get in a little early to open the door and all that, but maybe just book the appointment for a different time
very
if you want to.
responsible.
Yeah.
They don't plan ahead what to do.
yeah,
They don't know
just show
how
up.
they're gonna arrive there, what time they're gonna arrive there. They don't plan ahead.
Well, the other thing is it's a skill. I will say it's a skill to book appointments, and there things happen, right? Like they may have had 4 different showings
Yeah.
and they finished one really early. The clients didn't like it. And then you're
One they
sitting in the
liked,
parking
one they
lot
didn't like.
and you're like, I'm early. And then they've got 4 other after. So I do get it from the street level what happens because it happens. But then I think it just takes a phone call to the agent, say, hey, I'm early. If they're like, hey, my clients are inside, then you sit in the car
Just
and you
sit
wait.
and
But
But they didn't call me. They
No, they should.
exactly. That sort of communication would have helped.
Yeah.
Owner calls me and I tell them, listen, do you want to
Yeah.
anything wrong? Let them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess it's good for sellers to know, like, to just have some buffer time too. But it's really hard to maintain a house and get it showing ready because you
Yeah,
want
with
to
3
show it the
kids.
best. You want to have it
Yeah.
clean.
So even with 3 kids, you should be out 30 minutes early.
Yeah.
Other than getting it all cleaned up 30 minutes, it should be done.
So now you know why if somebody doesn't show up or shows up late, why the seller's so mad.
Of course, because they're cleaning the house.
They got it
Getting
ready.
ready.
They stepped out. They took all the kids out. Took all the
Dogs,
animals, like,
everything. Yeah.
It's raining. It's cold. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Some I've done it in the past. I got it front office. They didn't extend it. They couldn't do it. I got the agent directly, and you allow it because I was like
Of course.
6 minutes early.
Yeah.
It's like I booked 3 apartments, right?
That's what I'm
it
saying. Like,
happens.
there's always
Same
some.
area, so I have this extra.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
So sometimes that if you call the agent,
Yep.
they allow you.
Yeah, it just depends.
The
on
other thing is
situation.
like, if just from my perspective too, like maybe if you're calling the agent, text them too. Because like sometimes you'll call, I'll have agents call me and like not leave a voicemail, and then you're like, okay, I guess it wasn't that important.
Yeah.
So if you
texting's
are
better.
calling, call them, but like if they don't pick up text and say, hey, I'm outside the house, can I go in? Because they might be with clients too, or like whatever it is. But and then I would call the brokerage as the last resort, because the brokerage, you're going to go through an admin, then you're going to get paged, and then they got to call you. So I'd call the agent, text them, then call the office.
On that note, though, some agents don't have their cell phone numbers available.
Exactly,
to
unless they
see
don't,
in
yeah.
BrokerBay and
You can
ROM, so
typically Google
you might
their
wanna have-
name and find it somewhere. Their
Yeah,
website
but that
usually
takes
has
long
it.
too, right? Then you might as
Yeah.
well just wait for your appointment.
Otherwise, yeah, just wait.
But yeah, you may, as a selling listing agent, have your cell phone available so you can be open and communicative to these situations.
Sometimes if you had the clients when you show up early, just text your clients or call them, be like, hey, just sit in your car for an extra 10 minutes.
Or drive around.
Or drive
the area.
around, just chill for 10 minutes. We can't be early. So there's a lot of different solutions.
It's definitely an art.
It is an art. It is a skill, and it's an art
Yeah.
to coordinate
But if
everything.
you find yourself slow, if you find yourself late or being late,
Text,
you
call.
have to cancel that appointment before the appointment date. You can't cancel it during the appointment time.
And if you get caught, it's going to be a fine and a course. It's
So I have an issue here. Why can't the listing agent be fined as well? Because last week I was supposed to do a showing.
Mhm.
They confirmed the showing.
Mhm.
I go to the unit, or sorry, the basement to go get the lockbox. There's no lockbox there.
Oof.
Go back up because there's no reception in the basement.
Mhm.
I'm like, what the fuck is that? Sorry, what is happening here? And so then call the agent. She's like, oh, we already leased it. My apologies.
They should get mine and report it.
So I'd report that, sure.
I can
Why not?
report it?
Yes, of course.
Oh, she's getting reported.
It has to be available for showings, and you have to communicate all interested showings of the status of
They never
the situation.
confirmed it at the first place.
Yeah. that's what
Then
I'm
never
saying.
cancel your appointment. Just, you know,
No.
yeah, no,
It's
that's
bullshit.
it's yeah.
But she took the lockbox away?
She took the lockbox away.
Didn't cancel. Yeah, no,
Literally,
you
I'm
need to
sitting there,
communicate.
so she
It works
sends a
both
picture
ways.
of where the lockbox is. I'm like looking at it. And I'm like,
No, it works both ways.
Hmm.
If your appointment's confirmed, you have to be able to allow that showing.
who should I report her to? Rico?
Trev.
No, man.
Trev.
is mad now.
I'm mad.
He's a good guy.
Trev.
He's going to
Yeah, man. I'm a good person.
No, these are tribe rules.
There's a lot of swearing happening for you.
No,
But I
that's-
will say,
that's-
for every
That's
complaint,
three beeps in a row.
I will say though, remember karma. For every complaint you put out there,
Mm.
it comes back. If you make a mistake, an honest
I'm
mistake.
just gonna ask her for money then.
I
that your only showing?
I told you about one of our fellows got fined, right? Remember that story? One of our fellows got fined. He booked the appointment, but he booked it a week ahead.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
He clicked on the button.
Yeah, it's
He meant to do
calendar.
today, and then he clicked on like next Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not why he got fined. Because he still showed up a half hour late. so he's a week early, but a half hour late.
Oh, man.
It's not- yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean,
sometimes we're just humans and make stupid mistakes.
But even if they don't leave the telephone number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Most people are pretty easy.
I would
I
say,
emailed the guy, and email bounced.
oh,
Okay, we'll just have a record of it. That's all.
yeah.
You
I just
do-
say
you gotta do what you have to
communication
do,
is key in any situation.
Which is key also for offering and giving feedback, and it's just in general of how you're going to work. So just communication is not bad.
So I think in general the market's picked up a little bit. I think
Yeah.
looking at Nelson here again, it goes in spurts, right? And I know last month we had good 2 weeks, and then the following 2 weeks weren't so much. But in June this year, I think it's been more steady.
Yep.
You know,
No,
not booming or anything, but it's been more steady. I
more
think.
calls are coming in, more agents. I'm noticing a lot more agents reaching out to us that haven't done much in the past year. So now they're coming back. So I'm
So the
seeing
question,
different things.
the question to me this morning was, has the bottomed out
In prices or in
prices?
Look like.
I don't know.
I still think there's
I-
room.
I
to
think
go.
there's room too. Like we just sold a detached last week, thinking we were gonna get like $950 because the neighbor just sold for $975, and we didn't. We had multiple offers well under that. So
I think you're close.
don't
I
know.
still think there's
there's
room.
still wiggle, like a little bit of loss every week.
Because people here shaking their heads no, and people saying yes. So yeah, so
Yeah.
the thing it's just pockets
Yeah.
still out there.
Condos, I feel like they're still going down and down.
I'm still, I think the nice inventory out there that's renovated, kept well,
Yes.
original owner, that stuff is flying. Like I'm seeing day one offers gone
Yeah.
over us.
Any ounce of
Good location.
work needed, they're
Anything.
struggling. Like
Floor,
bathroom.
paint, appliances, one bathroom, something. Those prices are, there's opportunity for sure. And I'm seeing some of our buyers kind of get overwhelmed because they're looking for this nice product. And even though we have inventory that's growing,
There's not a lot of nice stuff.
not a lot of nice, updated, well-maintained product out there. It's kind of challenging.
And those ones are getting scooped.
Yes, they are very quickly.
Pay a little bit more for renovation.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, more for convenience, done,
Yeah.
moving.
People don't want to spend money on renovating right now either. More time, energy.
Yeah, no, they want it done.
So let me go into the stats while we're talking about the market itself.
yeah.
So we got 28,546 active listings. We started the year off at 17,000. SAC was hoping to get 40,000, but
Hey, we had a bet, I think. Actually, we got to go back to that.
we're getting close. 28,500, 16,000 are freeholds, 11,000 are condos. Vacancies gone down. It's actually 31% of the properties are vacant right now. Only 26% of the freeholds are vacant. 39% of condos are vacant. Sales themselves are about 4,600. Last year was also about 4,400, so about 4% ahead. Freeholds up 4%, condos up 4%. Sales over 101%. So in other words, sales over asking. Overall about 20%, but only 12% of condos are going for over asking, and 24% of freeholds are going for over asking.
That's reducing. So that's actually getting less likely as the weeks go on that strategy is going to work.
To 24%?
It was 26 last week.
26 last week?
Just
so that's starting to
slightly,
drip a little bit.
Mhm.
But how many times have we done that? You got a property sitting there and then you reprice it and hold off offers, right? That's what we're talking about that's going on there. Daily, about 220. Months of inventory, it's about 4 or so. This is correct. Last year we did about 6,100 sales. And we're projecting, I should have double checked it. About 6,500 sales this month. So I'm just guessing there. Is that true?
No, I think you're right. I think it's only 43 as of May 21st. I think you're right because last week was only 3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May, we're about 5% ahead of May last year. Leases, 16,000 active leases, 7,000 are freehold, 9,000 are condos. Vacancies gone down a little bit as well. Vacants 49%. 45% of condos are vacant and 53% of freeholds are vacant. So it's actually more freeholds. So that's switched.
Mm-hmm.
Leases in May are about the same as last year and about 6% ahead of May last year. So leases are doing okay, right? Canada's annual inflation rate was announced this morning at 3.2%.
Oof.
Came up from 2.8. And they're blaming it on gas.
Wow.
All right. And what's going on with the war? Who knows?
It's closed again.
Yes,
It's not open.
The war's closed or the strait's
straight.
closed?
Serious clothes.
That's true.
Talk about the world of information. You're talking about information. We're getting mixed signals all the time, right?
I know.
Did they have like some sort of issue yesterday where he like walked out of the peace agreement?
Yeah.
Who did, the U.S.?
Iranians.
Oh, Iranians walked out? Yeah, okay. You guys are talking crazy.
Because Trump said that he was going to blow them up.
Maybe
again.
they didn't welcome. No,
Huh?
no, they negotiated actually.
They
They
negotiated.
did?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That was a word that walked out, but they negotiated.
Yeah, they let their other people do it instead of those
Americans are
guys.
bribing them.
Mhm.
I think they're letting the inspector to go in. I mean, they already negotiated at this point.
Mhm.
They're doing a
So
straight
they are
answer?
so happy. American are so.
They free the oil supplies that they could sell now as much as they want.
Mhm.
Well, I know the stock market liked it, right?
Well, absolutely.
I'm not sure. Anybody check today what's going on in the stock market?
Overall down.
Like half a point or something?
SpaceX is down. Yeah.
0.34%.
How much? Sorry?
0.34%.
0.34? Yeah. Okay. So it's not too much. That goes up and down. So that's good news, I think, for somebody.
I mean, the issue is that they still have 2 months to kind of work all this out. So it's just the beginning of something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, SpaceX is bold.
And just to remind you there, then the government said that they wanted the annual inflation rate to go to or actually less than 2% before they lowered the interest rates. Remember during the pandemic? they want to get it below 2% before they would lower the rates, and they did lower a little bit now. So now it's gone up a little bit. So if people are expecting the rates to go up, with that going up, it's not going to happen, right? So if you got buyers out there thinking, well, I want to wait for what? Wait for the interest rates to come down? I guess, I don't know, maybe. But if they do come down, they're going to come down a little bit. So we're talking about where the market's bottomed out or not. So I think it's bottomed out as well.
I think so. I mean, what most buyers are saying though right now is it's actually not about political, it's not the economy, it's just simply the prices right now. It's not even about interest rates. These seem to be pretty comfortable with how that is. It's just literally the high living costs of houses and the cost of living. In general, that's their number one concern right now.
Yeah.
Get into the market. So there was a survey that they did with Canadians. Some say they still don't believe that they can make the numbers work. So that's why it's important to show, especially your first-time home buyers, how the actual numbers flow out month to month. It says 1/3 of non-homeowners want to purchase a home, but expect to remain renters because of the cost of living. 55% said they had no plans to buy at all. So that makes sense because we see that in the renting rate. That still means that the other half want to. But yeah, high living costs, down payment hurdle. So coming up with the initial down payment, the cash, mortgage affordability, those are more of the barriers. Even more so than economic uncertainty, job security, or trade tensions. 23% said high or unpredictable. It's unpredictable. I think that's the trigger, is the unpredictable living costs. Like what's going to happen in the future. That's what's freaking people out from making that decision, because it is a big decision. Another 18% said they could not afford a down payment. 17% said other financial priorities. So I think people are kind of getting used to the economic uncertainty because there's no control over that. It feels like it's just happening. So you can't do anything about it.
They can't even get a peace treaty for the war.
No. So I think that's just happening now in the background, and people will just deal with that. But I think it's just literally the cost of living and the uncertainty of how much things are going to cost in the future. Now that inflation's going up, again, it seems like we don't have an actual control of inflation. It's just doing its thing.
I think tariffs screwed up too.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some other studies too that were saying that people were about 42% after they bought a home were shocked about the maintenance that it took to upkeep it. And then that was causing some stress because of the money they had to pay to maintain this house now. So this is even more of a reason to get into a condo. If this thing is kind of freak you out, and it's all old, a lot of old product out there. If you think of your Scarborough houses, your Ajax, Durham, the old stuff, it's not necessarily something a first-time home buyer can come in and upkeep. That's quite a lot.
No. So. And a lot of like what people are looking at now, like we've got a client who will specifically ask like good questions, like how old's the roof, how old are the windows, the furnace and the AC, whatever, before they even go look at a house, because they're like, we're already looking at the peak of our price point, but we want to know, do I have to replace the windows? Do I have to replace the roof and all that? Which are a lot of people I've noticed have not. There's a lot of original windows out there.
Can't afford to.
The sellers aren't doing these things before, and the buyers are scared to now take on a big, nice house, and then knowing that they've got to pay for all these big renovations at some point that they need, like windows, roofs. These are important, non-cosmetic things.
So it's kind of a funny dream because the young people want these detached houses, but they want them to be done and modern and new. No one wants the condos. No one wants the old houses. Everyone kind of wants the same thing right now.
If the interest rate goes up, for example, right, and obviously price has to go down.
I would think so.
Yeah,
has to. I think even if they stay the same, prices still have to come down. Yeah, that's why I don't think we're at the bottom. I think we're very close.
But I think we're getting close. I mean, I was saying that today. How much can you pay for a Scarborough bungalow today? We just sold one. Did that one sell firm?
That was an exception.
No, but they sold firm though, right?
We're looking at about $850.
Yeah. $850 for like a not even renovated, like a regular, right?
Or $850.
Yeah, we're seeing. I think we got $800 for well maintained, but I wouldn't say updated. It was just clean. Yeah, $720 for a crack house.
So I wonder what the equivalency would be if you bought a condo, or sorry, if you bought a detached house in Scarborough. I haven't done the math, but if you paid $800,000, you put 10% down, let's say $80,000, you're left with a mortgage of $700,000, let's say. What's $700,000 mortgage cost?
Like
anybody off the top of your head?
It's gonna be like $3,700 or something.
$150,000 income.
It's okay. No, that's too much. What's a mortgage cost?
It's gonna be $3,700, $3,800.
Around 4,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're gonna buy a condo for $600,000, right? You put $80,000. What's the condo at $500,000 mortgage would be what?
Like low 3,000.
But then you got your maintenance another $800 in the back. You're back up to you're getting close to the cost of a detached house.
It's true.
So I'm thinking that these young kids maybe or first time buyers should consider getting the semi or the ground property because I think cash flow it's going to be similar, and plus you can walk the dog, you cut the lawn, wherever you got other things.
Mm-hmm. But what they shouldn't be looking at is a 2-story detached 4-bedroom in the house. That's
They
over
want
$1
what they
million.
grew up in.
So what the builders are selling now? What are builders selling today? They're selling those stacked townhouses, the 2 and 2, those urban townhouses that
No backyard.
that once you're in there, you wish you got out.
Yeah.
Right, especially on the second floor, man. You got to go two stairs up to the top.
But they sell for higher because they got that terrace on the top.
They got the terrace on the top, but you got to get up there too.
Yeah.
But that seems
you
to be
got to
the
climb
flavor.
like 18 sets of stairs, but
In my area, they were doing detached homes. 2 years ago, they said they were going to detached homes. Now they've changed everything to town.
yeah, because it makes them more money.
So single, so fully 3-story.
3 stories are better than the stacked for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they left the whole freehold thing out.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anybody drive by any new builds at all on the weekend? Any new builders? Any new construction?
They did increase their sales for May. We both had the same stats. So they did sell. Like we do know that did boost a little something, whether it was marketing or not. They sold about 1,000.
Yeah, you talk about that. Okay.
Yeah, they sold about 1,000 new home sales just in May. And last year they did about 200 something. So still below the 10% 10-year average. But yeah, it is a signal that it did, the HST thing did work. They did admit that some homeowners still had questions about how it was going to be administered and how it was going to work. So that did cause all the people to hold back, and they're still waiting for actual news on how that's going to play out. But it did boost a little bit. Let me see, it was 8. So of those 1,023, 800 of those were low-rise homes. So detached, semi-linked townhouses. So the majority of it, where the other was about a condo. The condos are still not doing anything, but they are seeing some low-rise freeholds increasing, and it's mostly outside Toronto. So only 5 were sold in the city of Toronto itself. There's not that much development happening for freehold, but most of the sales were Halton, York, Durham, and Peel, which makes sense. I think that's what you were saying at West, and we're seeing that in the Durham area as well. But the interesting thing is the benchmark price for those homes. Can you guys guess what the benchmark price is for a brand new construction home? 1.4. So our average price right now in GTA is just over $1 million, $1,070,000 for a resale home. That's average, right? But for a new build, 1.4, which is still down from 5%, but still very, very high. And then even condo benchmark price. Any guess what a new pre-construction is? And it's average, so it's pretty generic, but it's over $1 million, $1,029,000. So your pre-construction condo average price is more than your freehold resale. So that's still going to be a struggle to convert people with pricing like that. So people think pre-con is cheaper and you're saving HST. You're spending like $400,000 more just in the purchase price alone. So I would still try to see what's available on the resale market and see if there's any opportunity for your clients, even if it does need some work. Maybe we need to get comfortable with showing clients what they can do to do it themselves and put a little bit of work into it, because the pricing still for pre-con is high. But I think people want brand new. They want to be the first ones in, and they're going to pay more than average price to do that. So it's a good signal, but we still need some help on that side as well. And condos are still struggling too.
I was reading here that it says here, Ottawa families camp out for days to scoop up new homes. This is in Ottawa.
Oh.
So it's new home development. Guys are sleeping over the weekend so they can actually get in there and get these places.
So did you read the whole thing too? So I've read some of this on Reddit too. And you'll read headlines like this and stories like this, but then they'll say they sold 12 units.
That's right. They're only selling 12 units, by the way.
Mm-hmm. So the media loves to be like, oh, they camped out. And they probably did, because they probably wanted a particular ravine lot or something with, out. So they probably had their eye on one particular lot. So they wanted to camp out to get that. But be careful with what you read, because they only sold 12. So it wasn't like they had hundreds of people lined up and sold out. There's still 35 units left that they didn't sell as a result of this. If it's the same. Yeah. It's the same, yeah. So I usually go to Reddit when I see stuff like this. If you read your headline, you read your normal article, go to Reddit, because Reddit's where everybody else will disseminate
on
it and
it.
comment on it and be like, I was there myself. This is what happened. So you kind of get like the inside scoop from Reddit people.
Yeah, and this particular project, they were saving like $80,000 to $90,000 just because of that HST rebate that the government's giving them. So that's good.
Understood.
No, did you get this one too?
I did, but if you have something else to add or
Okay,
something, a
so-
different take on it.
Well, this is the new rules. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So the HST rule. So we've been talking to a lot of people, and builders don't fully understand what's going on yet. Was that the message I got?
Yeah.
A lot of builders didn't know what was going on because nobody told them what was going on. Because what's happening there is that the provincial governments, Ontario, Manitoba, Alberta, and such, they all agreed to give up their portion of the HST as a credit, and they're waiting for the government to also give up their 5%. The other provinces did their own thing. So the federal government on the other provinces, the federal government's going to give the provincial government the 8% discount, and they're going to give it to the clients. Ontario wanted to do it the other way around. Ontario wanted to do it with CRA. So that's why it took 3 months to get settled, and they finally got it settled, and it's going to affect it today. So what they're going to do now in Ontario is similar to what we've already done. So they're going to get the 13% credit, but it's going to be done as a credit back and forth. Nobody has to be paying any money back and forth. They've also changed it. Not only is it first-time buyers, it's any buyer. So even investors. So you know those guys from Montreal that came in, they bought $30 million worth of product here, and then some other people. They got a 13% discount.
So they can rent it out.
They can rent it out. So these are for investors, not just end users.
That's a good news.
Okay, so just so you know, so that will that generate something more?
I think it will, because like I said, the other article I was reading said that a lot of people had questions and had come to the sites and showed interest, but kind of backed out once they didn't realize they weren't clear. So now that there's more clarity, I think actually that will help.
Yeah, and I think the builders' sites, they can be more clear what they're doing and so on and so forth, right? Some people told me last week that they did see price lists before and after the HST rebate, so builders are reducing the prices, so that's a good thing to say. I wasn't sure if they're going to do that or not.
That's doing only 8%, not the whole 24
at the time. So effective today,
okay, 30.
it's 13, right? Now here's a Toronto developer here that he pre-sold 75% of their units. Did you got this one? Developers managed to hit a rare pre-sale milestone. It's, I don't know how you spell that. Canderel plans to build 3 residential condo towers ranging from 35 to 41 towers at Bathurst and St. Clair. Anywhere from the $500,000 to $5 million. It's 1,300 units. 75% of the units were pre-sold in the phase 1. It's Forest Hill area. And how did they do it? They went back to the basics. They have a sales center. I think it was 4,000 square feet. They have sample suites. So they're done. So people walk into the sales center. They're not just looking at pictures on a screen. They've actually made physical units. So people actually go in there and see them. It's the full model suite with furnishings. They got rounded kitchens. They got backsplashes, Bosch appliances. Having walk-in prototypes has become uncommon, especially during the investor-led market. So they're not going after the investors, they're going after end users, and that's the purpose of having these model suites. They've got smaller units with the bigger units with 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. Most of the units that they're building, 41% of them are 1 bedroom plus a den. That's 41%, and the other 25% are the 2 bedroom, 3 bedrooms. So they've basically gone back to the basics. They're also saying that the HST rebate was a big thing for them as well.
Yeah. They didn't mention in that article, but we sold a bunch there, and they also increased their commission for cooperating agents. I forget what they did, but there was an extra cash bonus for agents with their commission, and that helped. So I remember people going to the site. There was a lineup. They had their prototypes where there was an extra commission. This was last year, the end of last year, that they started selling this. So I think that helped as well.
Just going back to basics, right?
Yeah, and they weren't targeting investors. They were targeting end users, and like even our clients that bought those, it was end people that wanted to live in that area and wanted to be there. They were nice units, so they did well.
So going back to basics, somebody went to the Rich Robbins on the weekend. Was it in Halifax?
I think it was Quebec.
Quebec City. And one of the nuggets somebody came around with, Rich Robbins, telling everybody to go back to basics, almost like what this builder did here, go back to basics. He's saying here, why would you, for instance, I didn't write down the whole thing there, but they're back to old school. Like they're talking old school, meaning face to face. Try to meet people face to face. Try to do some door knocking. They're saying on the DocuSign, why would you do something DocuSign when you can take over to your client and get your client to sign it in person?
Well, I know why I would.
I know why.
No, they're like they're trying to they're going back. Why?
Because
Not everyone wants that.
time for me.
Okay,
personally.
well, what Schwab is saying is that you're trying to build for the relationship. You're trying to build for the future. You're trying to give over above service. So you're saying, well, let's go back to old school. Get away from the tech stuff and try to be
I
more.
feel like that's going backwards.
Too far.
That's too far.
Too far.
Well, like, let's have a debate. I don't know. Is it too far? Like, do people like that?
What if your clients were retirees? They're like,
Yes.
what
Well,
if they're,
retired still
what if they're
young
old
too.
guys, like 70 years old?
Even our 96-year-old sign
90-year-old clients
DocuSign.
have
They have iPads.
They don't have. They have iPads, and iPads have Wi-Fi and email on them. We have not had, and they actually enjoy the
They
process.
feel like
actually
empowered.
empowered that they get to be involved in the modern tech, and they're still relationship because we're still calling them and directing them to do it. But I don't know, like if you're in the middle of the night, you get an offer for you to leave your
Get
house
in
and
your
drive,
car
get in
at
your car
10
and go.
p.m.
That's not what we train as the best spend of your time. But I do agree there's other ways to go back to basics to build that relationship. I don't know if it's with the signing. I think it could be in the listing appointment, the initial appointment. That could be like a 2-3 hour.
You get to build a relationship, going to the
thing.
houses.
I was in there with the clients sitting on the table. I just sent
You like the signing in person?
and then DigiSign it. Because if I didn't want to create the copy of this and give it to them or email it to them.
This reminds me of a joke. So what somebody just said here is his client and him were sitting at the same table, and he had the document there, and rather than having the piece of paper or sign this piece of paper, he sent them the DocuSign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the client would sign the DocuSign back and forth,
Why
right?
not? Yeah.
That
also-
reminds me of the two kids dating. How was that for you? It was good for me. How about you?
Hey, did the deal get done? Did the house get sold?
Okay, let's hear more. I want to hear more.
But she likes that. She likes the in
I'm
person.
not saying the signing, but
Yeah.
you know what? When you send those, they don't even read it.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
then they get back to you after
Sure.
they sign. Oh, we didn't understand this. I didn't
Yeah.
understand that.
That's
So
fair.
at least that you can explain the whole thing.
There is still a process though. Like there's always like for us, there's a phone call. It's not like we're just sending DocuSign. We always have a phone call before we send any documents, even a text message outlining everything. But there's always a phone call to outline those things with them, whether they're receiving or giving an offer.
I've seen some agents, I know Fennec does this too, well, he'll send the entire offer package via email.
Yes.
Saying, I'm about to send all of these documents to you via e-signing. Give me a call. We'll go through each one. And they'll either say, no, I've got it, send it over, or actually have some questions about this and this, but you give them the opportunity. And you can still build a relationship, I think, through that communication. And maybe it's a personal style then, because it's just, I don't want to.
Well, like, can we let's ask the older
Everybody.
generation
I don't think it's an old or
here.
young thing. I think it's a
I don't
personality.
know.
Sanic, do you like seeing in person signings?
No.
Okay, so there's your extroverted.
Okay.
Well, I don't think.
And is
I
anyone?
love talking to them on the phone though.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, there's a phone call that's happening.
Okay.
It's not like you.
Once you meet them in person, it's a completely different approach than on telephone.
Yes, but you are meeting these people in person. When you meet a seller, you're always going to their house. When you meet with buyers, you're doing showing. So it's not like there's no face-to-face relationship,
You have
right?
to meet at their place. It's the best place.
Yeah,
to
for
meet at.
sellers.
Not a buyer.
Well, they don't own a home.
They're renting.
They're not going to bring you into their rental.
I go there.
You do.
Okay, so that's a
Okay.
relationship. That's okay.
Just as a side thing here, just for everybody, just for your business practices, best practices. If you ever read those RICO cases and things like that, or go to arbitration, when you send a client a package, let's say a buyer, you guys send the BRA and you send the offer, you send the confirmation, you all send it in one email, or do you send it in two? Okay, because the best practices is that you would send the BRA separately, have them sign it, and then you send them the offer.
Yeah.
So if you do it, because what's happening here when we go to arbitration and we sue people and they say, I didn't know what I signed. And they say, what do you mean you didn't know what you signed? Well, they sent me a whole package. And the way the thing came out says, click here, click here, click here. And that's what I did. They didn't know what they signed. So it's a much stronger argument for arbitration, much stronger argument for the courts if it's a separate document.
Or if
Yeah.
you did it in person.
Or if
Or
you're
if
in
you did
person.
it in person, even
Then
better,
explain
right?
it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So they'll just say, I didn't know what I signed. I mean, you've done it yourself. You've got a buyer, and the buyer says, oh, I've been looking for properties. And you'll say to them, well, did you sign a BRA? And they say, no. And then you say, well, did you put an offer in? Yes. And you say, well, let me see the paper. And then the first thing in that paper is the BRA.
It's there.
It's there. It's always there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So just best practices. You better do that in two different DocuSigns or DigiSigns rather than one.
I just want to go back to your relationship building question. Only saying it from what we just met with one of our more senior agents who just lost a client based on the fact that she wanted to go sign in person, and it was the kids running the deal for the parents, and the kids ended up saying, we don't want to use you, we want to use someone new. So like there is senior agents losing out on deals by trying to forcefully go do these documents in person because we know that was the way we were trained, but sometimes the client doesn't want that.
Yeah. So you got to.
So we've got to be
read
very
the
careful on
audience,
how we're doing old school, new school when it's all about how that client wants to be communicated with and the kids and everybody that's involved.
Yeah, I would adapt.
So we do have to adapt a little bit.
No, that's true.
And so do the young people. You might get a senior client that says you have to come in person, and then we have to adapt as well.
Just the documents that we received for rental package,
Mhm.
the DRA, rental application, they're all attached at the same. So if they're separated, it's better because the rental application, once they fill it up,
Mhm.
it goes to the other party, right?
Yeah.
So we don't need to send them the BRA.
No.
So the BRA is
Oh.
all of that. So they're all attached together, including the privacy and.
Yeah, so we used to have it separate, and then people complained that they wanted it all together.
I asked for another email.
That's okay, yeah. And then you can also, when you do your DocuSign, download them separate attachments. So you can download them as separate. So it's,
Yes, so you can.
Oh, you can do
Yeah, when you-
open and take it out. It's really easily can just separate.
Yeah.
Fine, yeah, can remove the part.
yeah.
It would be nice if they're all separate.
I would just ask the girls for you, especially because I'll get the other side where another 100 people want it all in one attachment.
but it is separate from the offer.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's our main point, is that it's separate from. He's talking about
I know
functionally.
what you're saying.
technically.
The offer, I
Yeah.
named them individually and I sent it.
Yeah.
Because it's easier for them to review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you using DigiSign or DocuSign? DocuSign you're using? Okay.
Yeah, which is even more flexibility, actually. Yeah, you can
Download
download.
sign's not good.
You can
for that.
download each separate. I can even show you in the one PDF to grab them all. Yeah. But
Once
there's
you send
ways.
it to other sites to sign on DigiSign or DocuSign, the other person is not going to see the page that it's not supposed to be signed.
On the DocuSign, when you attach it with the DocuSign.
Well, yeah. He's saying he forwards the email to the listing side, and then the whole thing comes together. So.
Yeah.
What else was on Richard Robbins?
Can't read my writing.
I was trying to read too. Face to face.
Well, it says there's 3 sessions. There's the trust recession, hope recession, and the loneliness.
Loneliness.
Yeah,
It's a lonely business.
it's a lonely. Well, they're talking about your clients, right?
The clients are lonely.
Some might feel lonely.
I would think that was the opposite. Agents are lonely right now.
Agents always been lonely.
Always. Yeah. It's a very lonely business.
Mm-hmm. I guess we touched on RICO a little bit, just so you guys know there are some changes to us as brokers. So it won't affect your world, but just good for you guys to know what's happening. We're going to be responsible for telling RICO our fiscal year-end financial numbers into a system. And they're going to analyze, I guess there's 3,800 brokerages in Ontario. They're going to use that data, a combination of AI and human, to look for trends, like how much money should you have in the trust account for the size of your business. And then actually, it's annoying for us, but I do support it because it's going to take the eyes off of brokerages like us who are doing things properly and passing our audits and put it onto people who are not in their system yet. Because I learned that, we are a big brokerage. We've been around for 50 years. Every 5 years, I can be pretty sure I'm going to have an audit because I'm in the system. They know about us. I'm there. There's a whole bunch of brokerages that have never had an audit, never had anything. So they're now going to be in that system, and I'm happy for them to go get audited and looked at.
Is that what the system that they have?
Yeah.
Now that they got the new
Yeah, the new
RICO
regulator,
board.
that's one of his missions. And And then I think in 2027, they're going to make it a monthly filing.
Oh my God.
So that's a little
That's only for people who've been bad.
that have been
Okay,
naughty.
for the bad
Okay,
boys.
good. Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah. So they're changing some things at Rico. They have their annual general meeting this Thursday. Is that the 25th?
That was July. Huh? Is it
June
or
25th.
June.
Yeah, Rico's annual, and it starts at 10 o'clock. It's an online meeting. If you care about Rico and the regulations and what this guy's been doing, you should go on and take a look. It's 10 to 11. They're going to go through their business plan for 2026 and a lot of the stuff that will impact us as brokers as well. But it's available if you guys want to have a voice or want to see what's going on.
One thing Rico has done is they've taken realtors out of Rico.
Yeah.
So it used to be we'd elect like the elected directors. We'd elect people to join the Rico board of
Maybe like
directors.
Clare on the board of.
They'd have realtors on the board of directors plus one or two public people and government people. Now no realtors are allowed to run for Rico anything.
Yeah. So that's why they're saying come to the meeting if you want to. They're going to listen to you and take your opinion, but they don't want the people that are in the business to be regulating the rules that impact them in the business. I can kind of see the point. Like we have the industry knowledge and experience, but it doesn't make sense for us to make like you can be biased. I can say if you weren't doing things properly, you could be really biased. And I think that's been happening for years.
The only issue I have with that whole thing there is that realtors are independent contractors. You guys, we don't have a lot of control. You guys can choose what you do and how you do, when you do, what you do, blah, blah, blah. We can't tell you what to do, right? Whereas the government here, I think they believe that brokers have this special power.
It's true.
That, like in other words, everybody fill out your FinTrack.
Yeah.
And everyone does it.
Right? And they think they're everybody's employees. And
I think everyone's going to listen to
you
me
know.
when I ask for FinTrack forms. Yeah, I know. It just is what it is. So it's happening. What are you going to do? We have already learned we're not fighters. So
We choose our battles.
we choose our battles. I just have some other Trump stuff if you want to keep going.
I was just going to go back down to sticking with the Ontario government. Some people are of the opinion that the government has no business putting money, taxpayer money, to bail out developers.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's not
Like they've created this $1.7 billion fund to give to investors to buy unsold condominium units in particular. Vacant, and they've spent all this money to buy these units from these people. So the people are going to buy them at whatever value they're going to buy. Instead of market value, they're going to buy whatever they think is the right value. They get the 13% discount on the HST, plus they get a discount for volume and a discount because they haven't sold. But it's still selling for more than what it should in the open market. So they're saying that they're like the open market should determine what's going on with the pricing, not the government.
Because it will actually hurt now the pricing as well of the open market.
Ontario.
So you heard about the new program that they did in Vancouver, downtown Vancouver, like last week. So the government stepped in and bought 2,500 MT.
So that's what's happening here in
Same
Ontario.
Ontario. Same idea. And everybody's saying, why? What price? I mean, they should be open market. Why?
Well, and I kind of feel like we're helping out one part of the problem. I would like to see some tax reductions for our over 75 primary residences to help them move and do something. Like we're only helping one tiny part of the problem.
There's a lot of boomers that are looking to downsize
that are really struggling right now that can't move, and they can't move out of their 2-story house. And we can't get people into those. Like it's a whole cycle.
Or are they selling it?
They're going to do purpose-built rentals, I believe.
That's the idea, but
until the market picks up, and then they'll convert them and sell them.
Well, CMHC took over several colonial properties in late 1980s from round 3 buildings in round 3 and Mark Frost. They were total of 9 units.
Were those MURBs?
Yeah. No, they were not MURBs. There's a builder went bankrupt, and CMHC took over it, and they rented to all low-income people. And afterwards, they came and resold them to the public. That's what they want to do.
I mean, they have to do something.
Except there's not CMHC buying it. It's private individuals buying it with CMHC with our money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a taxpayer money. How do they do that? Isn't they take the taxpayer money and buy these and then sell?
Yeah, the government's given $1.7 million loan for
I thought it was 2.2 something they were giving.
whatever it is, and they're just taking that money and buying these places. So.
Actually, there's a word that is a $3.4 billion.
So maybe add the two together, I guess. Yeah.
You will get one or 2 units per year.
And at the same time, though, if you've got clients that haven't closed on the condominium, the builders are going very aggressive. The builders, first of all, they want your commission back. If they paid your commission, they want that back, and then they want the. So the owner would have paid occupancy fees for what 6, 7, 8, 9 months for some crazy number, and now they couldn't close. So now the builder wants their deposit, plus they wanted to sue them for the balance the money that they lost if they resell it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting everything. So they're getting their money back for commissions. They're suing this. They're keeping the buyer's deposit. They're suing for the difference, and the government's helping them buy it anyways.
Yeah.
They helped them to get elected.
That's right.
The very messy situation we got ourselves in with condos and pre-construction. Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow.
Okay, for new stuff. Someone asked me to touch on a Realm product that's going to be launched tomorrow. It's called Verified Transactions. I haven't played with it myself because it doesn't launch until tomorrow. But what I understand is it's a tool for agents. I can't see how it's going to impact us on the broker side. So they're saying it's going to secure document collaboration. I'll explain more in a second, but it's verified participants, ID-based onboarding. Don't know what that means yet. Transparent access control, complete audit trail. So it sounds very compliance heavy. What I suspect is going to happen is you will have a listing on MLS. It will sell and get loaded into this verified transactions where you can then add your clients to it for visibility. And then apparently it's going to integrate with things like web forms and SkySlope.
After the deal's done?
It's after, apparently it's going to use MLS as a trigger. So I don't know on the cooperating side how they'll do that. It sounds like it's supposed to help you identify fraud. I don't understand how that will be yet, I guess, unless you had your rental stuff in there.
Add another hat.
It looks like it's going to tell you what spots you're missing signatures. So I guess as opposed to you sending it to me in deal admin and us telling you, it's going to audit it first so that you know that you're giving us complete documents, maybe. I need to play with it to see. But it sounds like it's more geared towards agents loading in your documents and looking for like audit type compliance stuff. I'm not getting the sense that it's going to like help get your signing done or help you organize anything. I'm getting the sense it's looking for issues. That's my sense of it. I don't know if you took a look at it, but when it launches, I'll let you know, but I don't think it's anything. It looks like it's adding more work. That's what I'm reading. It says minimizing fraud, increasing transparency, streamlining communication. I don't know yet. The other thing that they warned about, though, Treb in general, is a scam alert. This was happening last month where you would get an online lead. They would request a Zoom meeting from you as a first interview. They would say they have some issues with Zoom. They'll send you a different link, which is actually a malware link. So once you click on that link, then it gets access to your computer. So watch out for that in general. Watch out for any type of online lead, whether it's FinTrack, phishing, malware, this kind of stuff. I'm seeing a ton of phishing emails that are like, your shipment's been delivered. Click here to track it. And you're like, I didn't order anything. And you click on it to see what it is. That's phishing.
Ginny got one last week.
Click here, your invoice is attached. Click here to see it. And you're like, I didn't order anything. I don't know what invoice. And then you click it. So all it's doing is collecting information, data from your computer. It's called phishing. So I would report it right away. It's more rampant than it ever has been before, all this fake stuff. We even on the deal admin side get things that look like it's coming from a lawyer. It'll say, please click here for your documentation package or something. And it looks like a Google Drive link. It's phishing. It's spam. So just be really careful out there. It's getting really bad. Check all your stuff. But yeah, I think that's it. And then we can talk about the Claude session.
Yeah, I might need your help a little bit on it. So we watched at 12 o'clock, our coaching session was a step-by-step how to use Claude. Is anyone using Claude right now or know what it is?
Heavy pod user.
Yeah, we've got Usan and Mo have been heavily into it. Does anyone not know what Claude is?
Somebody told me that Claude was for coding. I know it does coding, but it's
does
for
a lot.
There's so much stuff going on.
it does chat GPT type stuff too, right? Okay.
Yeah,
It is.
so they said it's kind of like more high level than ChatGPT. ChatGPT, I'm just like going off my notes, but when you talk to ChatGPT, there's a lot of questions that you're always asking it, whereas Claude is less question asking and
Yeah.
more task doing.
Yeah, so ChatGPT is like you have your chat, so you can ask a question, then you open a new chat, and it's just chatting kind of back and forth. Where Claude relies on tokens, unless you have a premium account. So you purposely only use Claude for really specific questions because you don't want it to use your tokens and waste them. It's not like ChatGPT where you can just like
Unlimited.
you could unlimited like say thank you and it wouldn't cost you anything. Claude very specific. You have to like be really detailed about what you want it to do. It's more task skills based. It's going to do stuff for you if you program it the way you want.
Yeah, and I think this is where Claire was asking, I could be wrong, but there's a paid version called Cowork, which is a working model. It's not a free version, but it's where it's going to save you time, but you'll log into Cowork and it's going to do the work for you. So I think there's like ways.
There's Claude
it's called
AI or something.
Cowork.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
$30 per month, where like you can link it to your email, Instagram, and all that. And one of our agents did something like a little, not naughty, but very interesting, where like the RICO courses, for example, like it'll click through slides for you, or it'll do emails for you so you can connect it. Sorry, but like, sorry, maybe not like any course. If you need to click through something, it's going to click it, okay? But it does a lot of things where it goes off screen and it will do things for you and help you build a brand guideline. So if you upload up like all your Instagram, your emails and stuff, it can actually like go through all of your information and go based on you and help you build guides for your brands. There's a lot.
So if you're thinking about advancing from ChatGPT into a Claude, one of the first things you can do, sign up for Claude Cowork, so it is money, and then you want to link your products. You want to give it access to your email, your calendar, your Instagram. You're going to actually link these tools to your Claude Cowork, and the first script you're going to say is, go look through my tools and tell me who I am, what my brand is. So it's actually going to go through your sent emails. It's going to look at your Instagram account. It's going to look at your grid. It's going to look at how you speak, what your voice is. And it's actually the first step is coming up with a brand guideline. So all you're doing is training it to understand who you are in the world of real estate. So as opposed to ChatGPT, where you'd have to go and say, hey, I'm Carly, I'm a broker with Percy Fulton, blah, blah, blah. Claude will actually go into all your stuff and come up with who it thinks your brand is. Then you can correct it and you can say, actually, no, my voice is more aligned to this, or my audience is this. That's the first step, so that Claude gets to know you as a real estate broker. Then you're going to go really advanced and do things like, okay, send my monthly newsletter to my entire CRM. And it's going to know how to do that because it's seen your newsletter. You would have built a template for it. You would have connected it to your CRM. And it will actually go as far as to creating your future newsletters. And then you can go in and edit it. Yeah. But that's like one example.
The other thing was like things that you do repetitively. So they're like maybe every Monday you do a seller update. So you're sending them like your list track or like the stats, how many showings happened, what the feedback was. So you can get it to send an email, I guess, or create an email to your sellers every week. That like just like things that you guys are constantly doing on a regular basis. Yeah. Newsletters, those repetitive emails.
Yeah. Like another one is you could wake up every morning and say, tell me a summary of what I need to do today. And it's going to go through all your emails, anything that has a pending request or a question or action item. It's going to send you a list. It's going to look at your calendar. It's going to build that in. And it will say, okay, Carly, today you have this appointment, you have this. And I saw in this email, you told this person you were going to send them that. So I'm going to add that to your to-do list now to do. And you could essentially wake up every day with a full time block day of what you want to do.
This is really good for like, I know like Sanic was talking. We actually did a session last week on hiring assistants. So if it's $30 a month or something versus spending money on an assistant, this might kind of replace it a little bit for now. It still needs a human component to it, obviously, but...
Yeah, think about this as like setting up, same way that the front desk sets up templates for you when you do an offer. Hey, can I get an offer for it? And you get a template. So it's kind of just like a foundation is set for you. Now you can go in as a human and edit it and do what you need to do. This is the same thing. It's set up the flow and the format so that I can go in and edit it and tweak it and hit the final sentence. It's almost like setting up your work for you so you don't have to recreate everything from scratch.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like you might not like the newsletter it presents to you. You might have to edit it or do something to it. But
she also did something cool. She created a dashboard for things that she wants to know. So it had unread emails that she had, number of appointments she had for the week, and number of leads that she has. And it had like the numbers. So she set up a dashboard just that had that, and then had something about her emails in there too. I still have to play around with it too, but her biggest advice was basically like, we sound crazy probably. But you have to open it and click it and play with it and talk to it to really understand what it's kind of like ChatGPT, where we all thought this was some crazy thing. Now it's something we use on our daily basis. But Claude is something that I think will actually help you guys as real estate agents for
Mhm.
sure.
Yep, you gotta train it and coach it and like feed it.
How much does it cost?
The-
Was it?
The co-work one was $30 a month.
Was it only 30? I thought it was more than
It was, there's more. I know USAN's got a more advanced one. Mo, do you pay more than $30 a month? That's the one you use?
So you have basic chat Claude, right?
And then I think there's like a couple $100 a month you can spend.
What'd you say, sorry, Molly?
You got a limit every 5 hours.
Yeah, it's like your
Oh,
token,
okay.
right?
Pretty quickly.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
But then you send your full on coding, like you're the highest level of Claude right now.
You can still code with the $30 plan.
But
Yeah.
what you have
You're
is the
like high
highest level,
level.
like you could build stuff, like yeah.
Yeah.
So there's there's different levels, right?
Yeah. But it's pretty cool. It's created us checklists. I've made listing presentations out of it. I've made Instagram bricks from it. Like there's a lot of things you can do with it, which is
Yeah.
really good.
My favorite, just basic AI, not Claude. This is just your Gemini free, is adding your showing confirmations to your Google Calendar because it actually puts the lockbox directions right in it. So now I don't have to print them or go to BrokerBay right on my calendar. They're all in a row. I can just click on
I
it
was gonna say, I
to
think
get the
BrokerBay
access.
has a button for add
But then you have to log
calendar.
into. I don't like logging in. Even logging into BrokerBay, now you have to do your authenticator and your code. It's just in
Yeah.
your calendar.
It's
You
a
just
lot.
it's all you're already on your phone. It's just I'm trying to limit the steps I need to get into
Yeah.
information. So I like that it's just there. But everyone has their own preference.
Yeah. So maybe we'll do a session on Claude, but if not, I sent you guys a link today in your emails and on WhatsApp. So I would suggest watching it. She opened up her screen and showed like what she does. So maybe start there if you guys want to get into that.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting. So that was
That's
Claude.
good.
I'll do another. I know last week I did a couple Instagram updates for you guys. One was you can adjust your grid and move the photos around. The other one was you can do 6 pins. Now the new Instagram feature lets you, if you guys are doing carousel posts where you're doing like 10, 15 photos, a lot of people do it like when you have listings and stuff like that, but now you can actually add a different caption to each slide of the carousel. So as they slide through the photos, the caption changes. So I guess if I could see it in real estate, it would be like you have a photo of the kitchen and then you have a different caption for the kitchen, maybe the age of everything, maybe the family room, and you just have a different caption for each room. So that's Instagram's new feature of the week, I guess. They've been adding in a lot of new features.
Ever changing.
What would people want to know with Claude?
What would people want to know with Claude?
You guys tell us.
You tell us.
What do you
yeah.
want? If we did a session? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
What do you want to
Sanic's
learn?
going to do a tech day. Right?
Do you want to learn how to connect it to your CRM?
Okay, so that's one they said they haven't been able to do yet. Actually, on the webinar today, she said one of the biggest requests agents have right now is connecting it to your CRM. And I think it's something you might know USAN, but
What she was
I
saying-
think like on the highest tech people, they probably know how, but if you're low tech,
She was saying that not all CRMs
not
are
all
there
CRMs.
yet.
For sure, MoxieWorks will not be on there.
No, but your HubSpot, something like that, will probably be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said a lot of them are there.
HubSpot.
but-
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So a lot.
So I would keep it basic. Say just do Claude for email sending or something.
Yeah.
CRM.
Appointment setting.
And I would just keep it that like one topic because it just overwhelms to do more. That's a one that everybody could use and should have an email campaign set up.
Well, I guess the first one would be actually just scrubbing and seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uploading your stuff.
Yeah. Figuring
All
what
right.
your brand
Santa's
guideline
going to be
is.
signing up for next Wednesday.
It's important.
Actually, wait, I think it's Canada Day next Wednesday.
Oh yeah, it's a weird Canada Day. You have another?
No, what do you got?
Just a tales from the streets, just helpful to know. I'll need Claire and maybe Nelson to remind me if this is true or not. We had a situation where we represented the buyer. We did a home inspection. We wanted to change some things, so we sent an amendment with a bunch of changes. Not necessarily firming up the deal, but an amendment. There's a bunch of signbacks. That amendment did not get accepted. So the question is, can they send a waiver instead?
To firm it up.
To firm it up. So you can, if you have willing seller, willing buyer, if you had sent an amendment and it didn't get accepted and you decided to send a waiver and the other side accepted it and everyone's fine, yes. But technically that amendment is almost like opening up a sign back to your offer. It's you're saying the offer was conditional. I'm sending an amendment. I'm opening it back up to terms now. You technically should have waived your conditions in that amendment because that amendment's open now. You've presented it. There's an irrevocable. It's out in the world now. So to go back and send a waiver is tricky because if the other side is savvy, they could say no. Your
we
deal's
don't.
now done because you didn't waive your conditions. in that amendment. So our advice is if you're doing stuff like that, verbally talk to the other side.
Before.
Say, we are thinking about an amendment. We're thinking about changing this and this and this. Do you agree? You want to get their buy-in before you officially send that amendment over, because if they don't agree, you just make sure you live in that amendment with your conditions. You can't go outside of it now and do a waiver. Well, you can if the other side, but there's been some, it's risky.
If the amendment is done within the term, let's say the term is up tomorrow night.
Yep.
And you sure that it's due, the amendment's due tonight,
Yes.
reject it.
Yeah.
Just go back and use the waiver.
Yes. But you have to have it, you can't ignore it. That amendment's done. You can't just leave it out in the open now. It's done.
The seller rejects it.
It's correct. In our situation, they said nothing.
You should have the right to waive it.
Yeah. Now, is that true? This is where I want to get
This is
Claire
where it
and
gets
Nelson.
complicated, I think. That's what
I'm
I
looking,
think
I'm
they
looking
were
at Nelson
saying.
here, so I know the answer. What do you Nelson?
I think it's problematic when you want the seller to do stuff or whatever and waive the condition on the amendment at the same time.
Mhm.
The workaround to me is send the amendment saying seller agrees at the seller's expense.
Fix
to
this.
clear this, dot. That's all you talk about in the amendment.
And then that's complete and done.
And then you do it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you can waive. Now, if you start doing everything on that amendment, delete finance and delete home inspection, and then insert all that, then I think it's problematic. That's my answer.
That depends on what's in the amendment first.
Just remedies.
Yeah, just remedies.
Don't mention that. Don't delete
Conditions.
conditions and then insert
Yeah.
stuff on the same amendment. I think that's
Mhm.
where it becomes problematic.
So do the fixes and
Do
then
the fixes,
a
all
waiver.
that stuff. Once they agree to that, then you can proceed with notice of fulfillment.
Yeah. Now, what happens though if they don't agree? So you send an
Okay, so they didn't
amendment,
agree to those things, so that's.
and you can still send your waiver. And
or notice.
Wait, you still can send your waiver?
Yes.
I thought you can't either.
No, you should.
I think that's the debate.
that's the debate.
That's the debate.
Amendment has
Give
nothing
them
to do
some
with the
way,
waiver.
right? Like give them 5-6 days. When the amendment goes expired, then send the waiver.
But haven't you changed the material?
That's kind of.
That's the debate. Yeah.
You've changed.
So I'm looking at Ginny here. Ginny, what's the answer?
we need to break a tie.
Send the amendment and then the waiver after. Get the amendment.
What if they reject?
We're in a situation where the amendment isn't agreed to, but the amendment is now out to the world. There's an irrevocable. We've put it out there.
Did the conditions expire?
Yes.
So
then you can't
my
really send
answer
a
would be
waiver.
this: Am I representing the buyer or the seller?
Buyer.
Because don't forget, there's two lawyers in every courtroom.
That's right, correct. That's why I say willing seller, willing
Let's
buyer.
go with
is
the
the
seller
difference.
first, and then we'll go to the buyer.
If I'm the seller, you've given up your right to waive it as soon as you give me an amendment. You've given up your right to waive it by giving
As
me
soon
the
as you
amendment.
send it.
Yeah.
You cannot. If you give me an amendment, the waiver, you can't waive it anymore. Cannot waive it.
If you go to like RICO court,
I'm looking at Ginny here. What did that lawyer tell you?
That's what the lawyer said.
That's right. Thank you. That's why I'm looking. That's why I'm looking at you here.
What we're talking
But
about too.
but
What the lawyer said.
but if I'm the seller, right, then I'm gonna maybe look at an amendment saying this deal's now firm.
Maybe
and
you have
binding.
another offer in the winds waiting, and you want to participate in that one. Of course.
Willing seller, willing buyer.
Of course.
Willing seller, willing buyer, you're okay, right? But yeah.
My caution is don't just send amendments without having some sort of conversation and agreement before. That's the main lesson.
So
have some
That's
agreement before you, because once you that's a legal document you've now put out, and depending on which side you want to fight, it can go both ways. So we're talking about technical and street, what actually happens in reality. But the main point is just talk about it before you just start sending documents over.
We've had that situation before.
Yes, we had it last week. Anything I bring up is because we're in it right now. Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah. And our situation worked out, willing seller, willing buyer. But my caution was be careful when you do that, because they didn't agree to the amendment. The agent ghosted them. The irrevocable had almost passed. It was like 11:45. So it gets tight. It gets very risky. So my caution was just be very careful. In our situation, everything is fine. But
can the seller go sell to someone else if you did have something in the back?
there's technically, legally, we would say, yeah, but
if I represent the seller and that's what the seller wanted to do, I'd say yes.
it's risky, right?
If I represented the buyer and the seller wanted to do it, I'd say no.
Depends on which side we represent. And
That's why I said there's two lawyers in every courtroom.
it also depends on how savvy who you're dealing with, right? So it's,
It depends how much seller is desperate to sell the property also.
but somehow in this market, everyone has, I've seen seller's remorse and buyer's remorse. I've seen sellers sell and they think they sold too quickly, too under, and then they get kind of scared and now they've got someone else. They kind of want to see what else is there. I've seen it.
We've
both
also
sides.
never seen this many amendments.
It's a highly,
ever.
highly emotional market right now. Nothing is set in black and white. Everything is emotionally
Deals are
triggered.
very complicated these
very,
days.
very complex. Yeah.
The amendment is coming from the buyer to the seller. The market is open for everybody.
Mhm.
But is it from the seller to the buyer? Market is just still between those two people.
In that time, in the time set out, once the time gets close and
The
past.
buyer wants to back away from that amendment.
Mm-hmm.
But what does the
That's a
seller
back
say
away
about
from the deal.
Yeah, seller wouldn't typically, but
Yeah.
hmm yeah.
Sometimes sellers agents ego if they have 30 years of experience and the buyer agent is new, that agent try to prove themselves stronger and they don't want to budge for any adjustments. I think I was talking to one of our office agent that thing happened that agent warned that no, it cannot be happened. Right?
Yeah, so at least if you're verbally talking about it, you would know instead of putting it out there on paper. Then you know you gotta
Because that
confess.
ego matter also comes in.
Of course.
Even seller are flexible, but the agents are not.
Yeah. I think did I mention the CCR last time? Just to watch out for the two sections. I did already mention it. I'll just say it again. So just be careful with your CCRs. We've been in situations on both sides where we've not followed MLS and they were cooperating more, and we've missed out on that opportunity to get an extra 0.5% because it wasn't properly identified in the CCR. We just had 2.5 as per MLS because we assume that's the standard. So watch out. Some people are cooperating 3% or higher right now. So watch that on your CCR that is identified properly. We've learned through arbitration that even though the CCR form has two sections, 1B says as per MLS with the blank line, B says other. But we've been in situations in arbitration where it didn't matter. It was whatever the commission said on the form. They didn't care about what section it was in on the form. So just make sure you watch if you're cooperating more or less. Some people cooperate at 2% and you try to get your 2.5. You got to make sure that everyone knows you put that 2.5 there and then everyone's agreeing to the different commission. So MLS is just an offering of cooperation. It could change when you actually do your offer and that can become part of your binding agreement. So just watch your CCR, watch what people are cooperating. Don't miss out on the extra commission.
And make sure the both agents sign on the CCR.
And it's clients. It's not really about the agent. It's what the client's agreeing to it too, right? The seller has to agree what they're cooperating.
You also have to watch if you're offering lower commission and the other agents are putting higher.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
that's also a thing you have to watch out. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've seen that before where you're offering 2.5 or even like in Coburg or something, if they're offering 2 and then you try to
Slip
sneak in
in
a
a-
2.5.
Watch out.
Just be careful if you guys are offering less and
Yeah.
they're trying to get more.
Yep.
It goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
We've had situations where talk about Niagara region where they've offered 2% co-op,
Yeah.
and the agents here say that, hey, look, I'm not, I've got 3% or I've got 2.5% BRA.
Maybe they don't care.
I'm not getting my buyer to pay the other 0.5 point, so I want 2.5%. So, and they say, okay, fine. Then they do CCR at 2.5%. So just so you know, it is negotiable.
We've also seen where they're offering 2.5 and the house has been on the market for 100 days and our agent will put 3% and they'll get more because that seller's been on the market for a while.
But you can't just go back to my story there. You're right, but you can't just put it on CCR and try to slip it in.
No.
You have to have the discussion before you register your offer.
What happens if they did slip it in?
Then they're going to lose.
Not compared to what we just went through. That's why I say it's more gray now than it used to be. So my main point is just whatever you expect for commission, make sure it's on your CCR.
If MLS is saying 2.5% and by mistake or basically we write 3% as a co-op agent and everyone signs that, are we eligible to get 3%?
According to our last
So
case,
listing
yes.
Yeah, according to the last case.
According to
Carly,
previous
yes.
experience, no. So
According to my experience, no. But according to my experience, yes. So
according to my,
that's why
according
there's
to
two
my
lawyers.
recent experience.
That's why there's
Depends on who
two
you
lawyers
get.
in every court case.
Yeah, no, it's a wild
Depends who
world.
you're fighting with.
Yeah. Yeah. It used to be where if you were negotiating a higher commission than what was on MLS, you would invoice and collect the MLS and we would go to arbitration for the difference because there was an agreement. But we just had a case last week that kind of changed that too. So just watch.
If you have like a verbal conversation.
You can say I have
Yeah.
a conversation.
I would do anything verbal. I would have it
No,
all
that's the
writing.
email.
I know, but I'm
Email,
just saying,
text.
right?
Yeah,
If I slip
totally.
in and I say, oh, I said 3%.
Then it's going to be harder to fight.
Yeah, no, unless it's in writing. Unless it's writing, then no, you got problems.
Yeah, verbal's nothing. Yeah, so just be careful. Is my point.
Read it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Claire, you have more stuff? Or no?
No, that's it.
Training.
No training this week, and then we've got Canada Day next Wednesday. Sanic has officially signed up for July 8th to teach Claude. Yep. Tech Day with Sanic on July 8th. That's in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Go learn.
Tentatively, we'll stay tuned. And then we have golf July 15th, which is in 3 weeks.
Chad's got a question.
So if you have Family Day, RSVP to Ginny. It's at Timberwolf. What is it? Timber Creek Golf.
Mini golf.
Mini golf.
Mhm.
So RSVP to Ginny for that. So who had a question? Chad?
Chad.
Which one? Chad T or
Chad Ellie.
Yeah, so it's not up a question. What about there any changes on the if I show it, it's 1.5%, I keep 1% kind of thing?
That's kind of where like the arbitration thing comes into play too. So you would invoice at what is cooperating, and then they would go to after us if we were on the buyer side for the 1% referral that they're asking for. But in that situation too, some people agree. So sometimes a buyer agent that's sending the client to the listing agent knows that they're going to have to give up one, and they kind of agree to it on the CCR. That's most cases I've seen. They just kind of forfeit it because they know it's out of their area. That's why it's there in the first place. But technically, you would invoice full, and then they'd have to go to arbitration to collect the referral fee.
So the question for those at home was, if I put, I'm taking 25% off if I show the property to your buyer, right? What if your buyer saw the property in an open house?
I feel like they don't include that, but
Right.
Some do.
So there's already some gray when you put that in there already, right?
That's why they don't like, because it's in the other brokerage remarks, they don't like that for advertising commission. It should be mentioned in the cooperating section. So in a brokerage remarks doesn't always hold over. Like it's going to be a bit of a fight to collect it. But if you see it there and you're sending your client, it's there. So it needs to be a talking point now. Yeah.
we're still seeing that too.
I see it tons in very Ottawa,
Well,
London. It's because of our Toronto people going to those areas.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you're an up north agent, and you got an up north listing, and somebody phones you up, and you show that guy the listing, and then the next day they got an offer with another agent. I think that's why it all started.
Yeah, but I'm seeing it now as like a standard sentence in most brokerage remarks now. So, but yeah, there's easier ways to work that out too. Just call the listing agent, say I'm an out of town agent, my client wants to see it. I'll give you a referral fee. Just be straight up, give it to them.
So back in the old days, just for the old folks here and the new folks, the guy that earned the commission was the guy that showed the property to the buyer first.
That should be the rule.
So if that buyer went through an open house and the listing agent showed it to them, the listing agent gets that commission.
Yeah.
With or without a BRA?
It would remove that. Just go to the open house and let me know how it went.
There's no BRAs back then.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was
cutthroat back then.
That was the old days. We were at arbitration all the time.
Yeah, that'd be hard to prove. Yeah. That's why you had the buyer registry system. I'm sure that's why that came to be.
That blew up, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Any questions online? Anything?
Messi's on his way for a second hat.
Okay, yeah, we'll get back into proper world events.
He's already scored 2?
He's got one.
Any questions from anyone here in person or anything you need help to sell?
He's a vegetarian?
Sorry, 1 second. Yep.
Oh, so on the MLS listing, you put down that if you show the property, it will be safe by 1%. But he's in the Schedule B or Schedule C in this story. Are you suggesting that we should do that on the cooperating?
Yeah, it should be on your CCR. I wouldn't put anything about commission in the schedule. You could duplicate it if you want.
The CCR is confirmation of representation. So if you've disagreed what's there, then you got to put it in that confirmation representation.
Yeah, I would say the schedule will be like a bit of a protecting of the CCR, but the CCR is where that's what's going to say what everyone agreed to for commission. Yep. And that's probably where you're going to get into the fight, where they say no. The buyers say, well, I'm not giving up 1%. I'll see you in arbitration, and they'll come back up.
I'm not so sure it's appropriate to put that in the offer.
No. Do you mean the listing agreement?
You're talking about the listing agreement or the offer?
In the listing agreement.
Listing agreement, fine.
Schedule B or C.
No,
Yeah,
on
not-
the offer. I don't see how they're related. So, because two different
Listing
documents.
agreement, the buyer side won't even see that.
We've seen it, but it's two different documents. I think. So.
Weird.
Well, just cross the 3% and put a 2.5% there, and let them
Just
sure.
pay
ask for
attention to it. Be surprised how many
Some people don't pay attention. Yeah.
Be surprised how many people go right to the price and right to the
on
closing
both
date.
sides.
But we've even had our own agents be like, "Hey, they're only offering 2. Can I slip in a 2.5?" And we're like,
Don't slip it in.
Don't
That's
slip
just
it in.
not good negotiating.
It's
guys.
just not even started.
That doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah, they do. They do.
I know
They do.
but don't. Yeah, we're saying don't.
We're
do that,
saying
Percy.
Percy Fulton agents do not do that.
We can. You have an honest conversation. Negotiate. Fight for yourself. I have a BRA at 2.5. I'm not going after my buyer. I'm going to send you an offer at 2.5. Are you okay with that? Get agreement, and then I think fight. Like negotiate. Don't just hide it. Is the point.
But also don't lose the deal over it.
Sure.
Some
Yeah,
agents
you can't.
are-
You can't jeopardize the deal.
if your client wants that house, we're not going to
No,
fight
no, no.
over 2.5 if they're only offering 2, and your client wants that property.
No, you got a BRA.
Oh, nobody shows that a property with 2%.
Yeah, but Niagara Falls is all 2%.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some you like Coburg out. Yeah, Northumberland they do.
All suburbs out of GT.
And remember, you
all
can't regulate commission, so we can't even. It's just happens to be then what they're doing out there.
Where to go the long distance, but still we get 2%. That time it hurts.
They're telling you don't do that.
That's your signal to refer
They're
it.
telling you give us a referral. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we won't have a meeting. Are we still going to do a Monday meeting on a Canada Day? Yeah. Okay, so we'll see you on Monday then. Have a good week.